Good morning, it's time for a cup of joe.
I want to be a cup of joe, your first sip in the morning.
Looky, looky, look what I brought back. Some people mentioned that they were missing my ship mug with its complimentary sailboat. So I unearthed it for you as a special little treat. Let's read some comments. Sabrina says, how are you going with this? Do you still find it hard to find the motivation to sell things? I consider myself a minimalist, but all the things I've gotten rid of are still taking up half of our second bedroom. And it's been that way for the last 1 to 2 years. Things that aren't worth much are easy to drop off at a secondhand shop, but the stuff that is worth money I find so hard to actually get around to selling. Oh my gosh, Sabrina, I feel you, I feel you, I feel you. I'm still not good at this. I am not good at this at all. I think I mentioned it when I made a video about leaving the house that we were selling, and I still had freaking boxes of books and DVDs that I had gotten rid of forever and forever ago, and I was planning to sell them, and I never sold them. I just never ever sold them. It just is so tedious to one by one sell these things. Will I even make that much from each one? I had old school books that maybe the new editions, the old ones that I had wouldn't even sell. I couldn't. I just didn't bother. And I think the reason for that is that I didn't need the money. Like, I know I'm trying to get out of debt, and selling those books would have been potentially really helpful to kind of chipping away at that debt there. But I just didn't have the time or take the time, I guess, to do it. Because I want to spend time with my family. I don't want to spend hours and hours just selling crap or trying to sell it online. It's not even like you can just do it and it's gone. You have to put it up, then you have to keep track of it, and yeah, it's terrible. So when we moved out, I said, that's it. I'm done with these boxes of books. I'd been carting them from house to house when we moved. So I just donated them to a resale bookstore. I just came to the resale bookstore, just dropped it off at their back door, because normally you'd have to come in and you get store credit, and they would scan them all, and I didn't want store credit. I didn't want to buy more books. I just wanted to be done with it. So I just gave them all the books and I drove away. And so yeah, I'm terrible at it as well. I did exactly what you said you did. I would give to thrift stores the stuff that weren't really worth anything, and then I would just hang on to the stuff and put them in a big section. Here's the stuff I'm getting rid of. I'm gonna sell it someday. There it is. It's over there, and I was terrible at it. So I figured, you know what? Let someone else buy it for cheaper than they would have if I bought it. Just say goodbye. Just let it go. Oh, but there was one DVD that I knew for a fact was kind of rare. So I did hang on to that one DVD because apparently I can sell it for like $50 to $100, which I'm like, heck yeah, I could do that. That's worth it. I'll keep that one. So I kept that one DVD, and I still have it.
Cup of joe.
Next question. Lyrica Lee says here, she's talking about, she wants me to reconsider getting rid of, I'm not getting rid of it now, but eventually I said I might get rid of these nice little names that my dad carved out of wood for my kids, little name puzzles for them to play with. And they're fine for now, but I said, someone brought up the idea, you could glue them and hang them up on the wall, and that is a fantastic idea, but I'm just like, I don't want them to be that self-focused. I don't want them to look up at their name every day and be like, yeah, me. You know what I'm saying? So she's hoping that I will reconsider. All right, she's saying, please reconsider. Remember, if you were not confident in your own personal identity, Shoeless Joe, you would not be as confident in your own way, in the way in which you lead your family. Ownership of all but self is the myth. So teach your children not to own things, but to allow them to own the specialness, all right, the specialness that is them alone, which we see in the names that we gave them. All right, this specialness that inspires such love within your family, for someone to take the time to craft a gift that is truly theirs alone. Keep doing what you're doing. So basically, I gave this a lot of thought. I did think about this. It's kind of a strange thing, but, and you say here, how ownership of anything the self is a myth, and that I agree with very much so, because we don't really own any of these things. We're just passengers through this life, and you can't really own anything that someone can take away from you. So obviously, anyone can take anything away from you if the circumstances are right, or if they have the right force, or anything like that. So we don't really have true ownership of anything on Earth, except, like you say, of ourself. But what does that mean, really? We have possession of ourself and our self identity, but in a way, we don't have possession of ourselves as a being, because at any point, someone can take our life from us. Someone can forcibly take our life from us. We can die in a freak accident, or old age, or illness. Any number of these things can take away. They're not necessarily taking away ourself, but they are taking away our life. And for me, that's something I want us to be aware of as a family, my kids growing up. And I don't want. I think, and this might sound strange, but I think the ultimate form of minimalism. So minimalism, we have different levels of letting go. Right, first we start letting go of the crap that we know we never cared about. We were just hanging on to it because why not? All right, then we get to a level where we start getting rid of things that maybe we did think we kind of needed, but now we're saying, well, maybe I don't need these duplicates or these extras or this thing I haven't used in years. Then we start digging. We keep digging deeper and deeper. What can we let go of? Okay, and then maybe we get down to the things that we do need and we do use every day. A good example might be for me, maybe my computer here that I'm filming and I edit on, or my car that I drive to work every day. Okay, and a form of minimalism might not be necessarily to get rid of them, but to accept the fact that at any moment I might have to let those go, and I'm going to be okay with that. That I will still be living and breathing even though I don't have my computer or I don't have my car, and my life might drastically change. I might have to try to figure out a way to replace them or to live without them. But I'm going to be ready for that, and I'm going to be ready to let go of those things. So minimalism isn't just letting go of the things you don't need or you don't want or you don't love or any of that. It's also being prepared to let go of the things that you don't have control of hanging on to, which is really everything. This fly is driving me nuts. See, I just need to let that go. I can't control that fly or its flight route. All right. So we want to let go of these things. We want to be ready to let go of everything. And that includes our life. The ultimate form of minimalism, almost in a way, is to be ready to let go of your life and say at any moment, I'm not going to live, maybe. At any moment, something could happen and I could just die. And am I okay with that? Am I ready to let go of my life? Now, a lot of that has to do with getting right with God, living for the right things, uh, trying to live a virtuous life. There's a lot of different things that go into that. But ultimately, I want my kids to be more focused on letting go of their life and not just being ready to die at any moment or something like that, but also to live for others and to look to others to find fulfillment rather than building up our own personal self-esteem. Or I hate the term self-esteem. I know it can sort of have good things or whatever, but I think we've taken the self-esteem movement way too far. Forget self-esteem. Find a cause that you can live for. Find some meaning in your life that you can serve others and do for others rather than have self-esteem and kind of this self-fulfillment. That's kind of this like cycle of me, me, me. So I guess the reason, and this is the longest roundabout way of saying this all, but I just feel like whenever we use our name as some kind of a decoration or put up pictures of ourselves in our house or something like that, or even the background on your phone when it's a picture of you, or I mean, it can be you with a relationship, but I just feel like all these things keep kind of bringing us back to ourselves and the good we're doing or our relationships that we're fostering. And I just think it's a slippery slope. But the names especially, I feel like just keep drawing us back to ourselves. So I don't know. I'm still not a fan of. Gosh dang it! I'm not a fan of this fly. I'm seriously gonna kill you. Hey, try it. Land. I'm ready. Nailed it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Next questione. The mighty Jesse Quinn here says, "Are you worried about your kids being really uncomfortable with the shared bedroom when they hit puberty? I know that's pretty far off right now. LOL." It's a great question. The mighty Jesse Quinn is referring to the fact that right now my entire family sleeps in one bedroom and more or less on one bed, depending on if someone else moves to the floor or a couch or something like that. But right now we share a bedroom and a bed, and our kids are 5, 3, and 1. I got that right, right? Is Esther 4 now? I think I don't know. They're in there. Between 1 and 5 is the range for my children. And obviously, if we were to remain sharing the room, things might get awkward once we hit puberty. But we will. Seriously, is there another fly? Watch yourselves. But we don't plan to share a bedroom forever. In fact, Erin has been talking a lot about how she wants to get the two girls who are our two oldest there out and into their own room. Right now, we don't have any other rooms available because we're living in her sister's house. But eventually, when we have more space, Aaron's really gung ho about getting the girls out of there and into their own room. I just don't think, for me personally, I don't think that there's anything wrong with sharing space in this way. Like, I think, uh, especially in the US or in other, Western, whatever, we think too much that, like, everyone needs their own room and their own space and their own this and that. Why? Families, I'm sure, for hundreds of years grew up living in a small space. There's nothing wrong with sharing a bedroom with numerous people. Like, it's okay. But yeah, uh, we're the idea is to like cycle them out. Like once they get older, you give them the boot, moving on to the room, so there can be more room for the new young ones because we plan on growing up this family, getting lots and lots of kids. So yeah, if for no other reason than logistical, we'll have to kick those older ones out at one point or another.
Cup of Joe.
All right, let's see. Next question here. Rebecca Christopher says you should digitize the plays so that just in case something happens, flood, etc., your kids can have them to read and you can get rid of the physical copies. Good news, Rebecca. I actually found digital copies of the plays that I had lost. I found digital copies of all my plays. I got to thinking, I'm like, do I still have those? Do those survive my numerous laptops and all that? And being around before the cloud storage and all those things. But yes, I actually do in fact have now all of my plays. So I might get rid of the physical copies there, or I might not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, so that's good news, right?
Cup of Joe.
Daniel Denter says, so I was talking about how right now I'm kind of going on a YouTube fast till the end of the September. I deleted my YouTube app and I'm trying not to watch any YouTube. So Daniel Dentures says, good luck. YouTube is so addicting. I learn a lot but waste a lot of hours. I would love to be techless, living a simple, minimalist life in the country. Internet, I wish I could quit you. Here is to hoping the withdrawal is not too bad for you, Joe. Well, so far, so good. I found it really liberating. Between getting rid of YouTube and getting rid of Facebook, I just feel more free. Like I used to feel like I constantly had to be checking things. Like, okay, from my who I'm subscribed to, who's my latest video? I got to put that on my watch later. I got to watch that now. I just felt like I had to keep up with all these things. Now I don't feel that way. And I'm not gonna lie, I have cheated here and there and watched some YouTube videos, but I haven't like binged like I used to. And I also haven't been keeping a huge watch later list. That's something else that I purposely am not doing. Like I'm not going on YouTube at all, so I'm not building up that watch later. So there's all these videos that from the people I'm subscribed to that I might just never see. And you know what? I bet I'll stay still alive. I bet I'll still be able to keep on keeping on without having seen those videos.
Cup of Joe.
So Stephanie R, this is again on my video about quitting on the watching YouTube videos. Stephanie R says, feeling this right now. Janelle and Nicole Full, Janelle and Nicole Full, Janelle Canocol, Janelle and no, Janelle, you can't say that fast. You can't. Says, I believe I will do a YouTube fast to stand in solidarity with you. I for sure am on here way too much. I will shoot for the end of September. Blessings on your journey. Well, thank you, Janelle Nicoleful. Blessings on your journey as well, although you might not be hearing me right now if you aren't watching YouTube. And Stephanie, what do you mean you're feeling this right now? Are you going to stop watching my videos? That's not what I was going for. But yes, Thank you, Janelle. So now I have someone to hold me accountable. So now I won't cheat as much because I'll know that you're doing this too, and I started it. So if I start it and you do it, and I cheat and you don't, well, that's gonna make me look like a complete idiot. So thank you.
Cup of Joe.
All right, Mandy R says you might want to reconsider having a rule against debating with people online. I was talking about being on Facebook, and I deleted my Facebook because I just didn't feel like there was any really good discussions happening there that didn't devolve into arguments or whatever. She says, if you only ever debate within your own family or religion, you will only expose yourself to a very limited set of beliefs. Even if you do work with or know people in real life who you are comfortable debating with, often countries and even regions of countries have their own society or culture and have unconsciously accepted political or religious dogma. So, what are the chances that you were born into the right religion or raised with the right political views uh, when the world is such an incredibly diverse place? Even if you are completely convinced that you are that lucky, shouldn't you still be knowledgeable about other religions and understand the viewpoints of the opposite political party? So your options are incredibly expensive and sometimes dangerous travel or the internet. Certainly, there's a lot of potential to be nasty on the internet, but it's easy to tell the high consciousness discussions from the low consciousness ones and participate or abstain accordingly. You bring up some great points there, Mandy. Let me just clarify here. My main point was directly about Facebook, like people discussing or debating on Facebook. I feel like that always just turns into people yelling at each other or just getting more defensive than actually trying to hear the other person out and then respond. Everyone's just thinking about how they want to respond, or even if there's two people who are having a really good discussion, other people start chiming in. So I'm in no way trying to say that I'm just going to sit here and stick my head in the sand, and ignore everyone else's ideas. I still do seek out a lot of those other ideas. I definitely still follow people who have different political views or different religious views, different like all of the different views. But I watch them more on YouTube or I'll read articles. But I don't find a point in engaging people in Facebook. That's not helpful to me. So I feel like I do still expose myself to these other ideas. I've definitely changed in a lot of ways, and none of those ways have ever come from a Facebook debate I've ever had. So I question things in other ways in other venues, but I just don't see a point into debating with people about it on Facebook. I much prefer face to face. And as far as my family is concerned, I know I talked in that video about us all debating things about Catholicism. That's because everyone present was Catholic. Not everyone in my family is Catholic. So during other family gatherings, we have other debates about Catholicism versus other religions or some different things, politics, spirituality in there. So I definitely do feel like I am exposed enough to other ideas to be able to expand my mind there and really question what I think. But I do it in just any other way but Facebook, basically.
Cup of Joe.
Diogenes the vlog. Am I saying that right? Diogenes. I also hate small talk. I don't get why people aren't cool to just sit in silence. I'm happy to not talk to people at work on my lunch break. We both don't want to talk about the traffic. Let's just agree that it's not weird to not talk at all. We'll both just be happier. Well, you know what, Diogenes the vlog? I couldn't agree more. This has been your Cup of Joe.
Rating me in comments. It's fun to do. Feeling worse about myself all because of you. But the joke's on you. So keep saying I want your kills. Cause your comments make me money and you're paying my bills.
Love you, bye. So I'm in no way saying that I'm trying to stick my head in. Let's just start that over.